Michael Grunwald works for Time magazine, but he loves the government. He thinks it's here to help you. And anyone who challenges the government, like, for example, someone in the press who's actually a watchdog of the government, well, he doesn't just dislike them, he hates them. He doesn't just hate them, he hopes that they are executed. Now, come on, that seems too harsh, right? Apparently not, because here's a tweet he just sent out. He says, "I can't wait to write a defense of the drone strike that takes out Julian Assange." So here's a so-called reporter saying, this Julian Assange doing actual journalism, revealing information to the public that we are keeping from them. He's embarrassing us. He's making us look like Pravda. God, I hope they kill him. Now, maybe he was joking, but the rest of his tweets, after he realizes how heinous that tweet was, don't really indicate a joke. They indicate a mistake, like I meant it, but I guess I shouldn't have said that in public. So let me go to those. First of all, he got, of course, a lot of criticism. For example, Decentralized Occupy sent out this tweet: "Demand Time cut ties with Mike Grunwald, psychopathic journo who tweets about craving the death of Julian Assange." And that began to build. So then he takes down the tweet, Michael does, and he says, "No, it was dumb, so I took it back," in this next tweet. And he said it was dumb like 3 different times as he was taking it down. Now, the person who had tweeted initially to him says, "Bet you only tweeted this after speaking with your supervisors at Time." Now, I don't know if he spoke to the supervisors. I'll get to them in a second. But Grunwald kept saying over and over, like I said, 3 different tweets where he said it was dumb and I made a decision on my own. At least he understands it's a mistake. Here's another one. "No, but it was dumb anyways" is a reply to, "I thought it was hilarious. Rapist dude bros are no victims." Now, do you understand what's happening there? The original tweet is saying, well, it's a good thing you tweeted that about Julian Assange because he's a rapist dude bro and he deserves it. If you believe he's a rapist, which I find to be the most ridiculous, coincidental charge of all time, you still want his execution and would find that hilarious? You think that without a trial, Sweden hasn't even charged him? Okay, but it doesn't matter. He's against the state and he must be executed and it would be hilarious. But what I like about that is Grunwald saying, no, but it was dumb anyway. Like, oh yeah, you're right about that, man. That guy's a rapist and he's hilarious if he got executed. But I shouldn't have said it out loud. You were right, but it was dumb anyway. Okay, interesting. One more. Someone tweets to him, "My main problem with this, it gives Assange supporters a nice, safe persecution complex to hide in." He says, "Fair point, I'll delete." Now, that was one of his first ones when he decided to delete. In other words, I'm deleting not because what I said was ridiculous and heinous. I'm deleting because, now the Julian Assange supporters will get to have this persecution complex. I wouldn't want to help the Julian Assange supporters at all. Those guys who want the American public to know stuff? No, us at Time, we don't want them to know anything. All we want to do is support the government in our role as Pravda. So, of course, here come real journalists. Glenn Greenwald tweets out, "Things like this make you not just understand, but celebrate the failings of large media outlets," Time edition, and then he quotes back. It's hard not to celebrate the death of organizations like Time when they have people like this working for them. And it's Mike Grunwald is not the anomaly. He's the standard. He's the rule. He's not the exception. All these guys. So, Julian Assange, not a real journalist. How dare he tell people what to do? I mean, it was a document dump. No, it wasn't. He selected the documents that were important and revealed it. That's what a reporter is supposed to do. God, they're embarrassing. Now, here's my favorite tweet on all of this. Zaid Jilani writing, "Okay, I think I figured out Mike Grunwald's political ideology. Authoritarian." That's exactly right. Zaid nailed it. Okay, look, I'll show you past tweets and statements of Mike Grunwald to prove it. On a different issue, earlier he had tweeted this: "While I'm on the uncaring kick, I don't even get why I'm supposed to care about the American we iced in Yemen. He was Al-Qaeda." No, you moron of morons. We don't know what he was because we never tried him. Now, there's not a lot of sympathy for Anwar al-Awlaki because we assumed that the government had a lot of evidence on him. I, for example, have a lot more sympathy for a 16-year-old son who we also executed. And the government says it was kind of a mistake. Who we were trying to hit, I don't know, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to keep all of that secret. And the 16-year-old son, also an American citizen. And by the way, it isn't judged on how bad Anwar al-Awlaki was or how innocent his 16-year-old son is. The idea is the Constitution, where we say, hey, you know what? If you're an American citizen, we're not supposed to summarily execute you. But Mike Grunwald doesn't give a damn about the U.S. Constitution. All he cares about is the U.S. government. Have I served you well enough? Yes, execute any American citizen you like. No trial is needed. No due process is needed. Yes, execute them. How do you know they're Al-Qaeda? Was his 16-year-old son Al-Qaeda too? That's why we try people, or for Christ's sake, at least indict him here. He won't even be able to represent himself. How little evidence did you have that you couldn't even indict him? But Mike Grunwald doesn't care about evidence. He doesn't care about facts. His whole job is bow down to the U.S. government. In another article where he was attacking libertarians when Rand Paul was doing his filibuster against the drone strikes, the Stand With Rand movement, Grunwald said, they're from the government, and they're here to help, referring to the people from the government, obviously. We know our government is fallible because it's made up of people, but we still count on it to protect us from terrorists, from psychos with guns, from exploding factories. So, now, I'm not a libertarian, and I understand some of the points that he's making there. We need cops, we need a government, absolutely. And we need some regulations so that factories don't explode. But his overall ideology is right there in that first sentence. They're from the government, and they're here to help. And even though I'm a reporter at one of the so-called top news magazines, I'm not going to investigate the government. I'm going to take whatever they say as the gospel. And if they say we need to execute an American citizen like Anwar al-Awlaki, great, I will applaud. His 16-year-old son, furious applause. Yes, we're to murder him. Now, he didn't mention his 16-year-old son, but I can't wait for that tweet. And then, of course, Julian Assange, please kill him. He's revealing information about the government. How dare he kill him, kill him, kill him. Great, Mike Grunwald, great. What a great reporter you are. And then finally, we go to one of my favorite tweets in response, Quinn Norton, who I don't agree with, apparently, because of the beginning of her tweet. She says, Assange is an asshole, was unbelievably horrible to me personally, and says inconsiderate things. That I believe. But I've never seen him call for murder. Wow, that's pretty fair. So however bad you think Assange is, how much worse is Grunwald? Wait a minute. If he's worse than Assange, should we celebrate his murder as well? Should he get a drone strike? I don't know. If the government does it, they were always right. You should never question them. So, Michael, I guess if they executed you, that would be awesome because it was the government who did it, and they're always here to help. No, how about we don't execute anyone without a trial, and then we don't celebrate that? How about we challenge the government instead of accepting everything they say, especially if your job is to be a so-called reporter? It gives you a great insight into how the mainstream reporters think.